what do we need to know as it comes for the coming days?
Well, we are going to have some showers that are going to be left over and associated with what was Helene. Now, thankfully, we're not anticipating a whole lot of real heavy rain from these, but there could be some downpours and there could be some small streams and creeks that may come back up. Now, you take a look at Appalachian State University today. This is our camera out there, thankfully seeing some much improved conditions from where we were on Friday. Now, as I mentioned, we do still have those showers in the forecast heading into tomorrow, and then maybe a few on Tuesday. Then we'll dry out toward the end of the week. We're watching the Gulf for the latter half of the week for potentially another tropical system. Now, Helene not only brought us all of the flooding rains, but as you heard at the top of the newscast, an EF1 tornado in Rockingham County. Thankfully, no fatalities, no injuries with that one. And we had some tornado warnings out there this afternoon for Rockingham, also up into Henry County. Can't totally rule that out. It seems this area right here does have quite a bit of wind shear as we go up in height. And when we do have that, we have the possibility of getting rotating columns of air that can produce some pretty intense winds. So we'll keep a close eye on that as we go into the early evening hours. I do think things will quiet down later on tonight and overnight. Along Highway 421 from Ramseur up toward Linbury, we do have some wet weather. Also some wet weather around Reidsville, and that moving north, and some heavier downpours there. And that is just south and west of Bachelor's Hall, and that is east of Martinsville. Now, Martinsville, as well as parts of Patrick County, are under flash flood warnings because we have had some of the rains. And like I said, it's not going to take a whole lot. An inch or so has fallen in some of the brighter green areas that you see here on the map today. Otherwise, very light amounts or no rain out there today. Good news is that our river flood situation is improving. We currently have no river flood warnings in our immediate area. The Yadkin is going to continue to come down as we go into the evening hours, so it'll be back to its normal stage, and that is the Yadkin River at Yadkin College, that southernmost part of our area. You can see some of these rainfall totals out of Hendersonville, Banner Elk, Brevard, more than a foot of rain, and in some cases 20 inches or more. Of course, Boone, one of those areas that received 20 inches of rain. West Jefferson, North Wilkesboro pushing 11 inches of rain. Sparta more than that. You can see where the rivers are draining, and we are seeing some flood warnings that are a little farther in eastern parts of North Carolina as the water heads toward the Atlantic Ocean. We've got some showers here right along this front. Remnants of Helene kind of stalled out to the west, and that's why we're seeing these showers being generated across the area. Like I said, I think overnight it gets a little quieter. We may still see some patchy light rain around tomorrow morning or a little passing shower. Most of today is dry, or I should say tomorrow is dry early on, but I think by lunchtime and into the afternoon, once again, we could see some of these showers developing, and we could have isolated thunder with them. So we're going to make it a weather impact day, at least for the afternoon hours tomorrow, with a high of 77 degrees in the Piedmont. The temperatures climb into the mid-70s in the foothills as well. We'll see showers. We do have it labeled as impact as well, because I think the coverage is about 50% or more. And then high temperature of 67 tomorrow afternoon and evening into the mountains, also weather impact. These areas of low pressure represent what is left of Helene that will slowly churn and work its way away. So I do think we'll get some improvements. It's just going to take some time. Even heading into Tuesday afternoon, we still have some showers around. There is a cold front that's going to help sweep things clear, and that's why we are forecasting at least a little bit of sunshine and drier conditions by Wednesday and Thursday. In the meantime, several areas we are watching out in the tropics. We do have one area of concern, and that is here. This is the closest one, so that's the one I'm going to talk about. 50% chance of developing into a tropical system, may become a tropical depression by the middle of the week. It's expected to move into the Gulf by the latter half of the week, so this one will probably be the next one that we are talking about as we go through this week. There are several more out in the Atlantic, but those are set to stay out in the Atlantic for now. Here's our 7-day forecast. Noticing the temperatures are pretty close to normal. We do have some improvements by the end of the week, some passing clouds and some less humid air. It should feel a little bit more like normal and like fall.